Okay, that's a little weird. It's saying that I'm live right now, which is a little bit weird. But shout out to each and everybody out there. I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. And if you like what you're seeing content wise, uh, feel free to donate to my channel as well as like, share, and comment. You can donate via the link that you will see in the description, my PayPal. All right, let's get into it. So, Jai Opetaia, he upset Mairis Breidis, well, today, which would have been like today in Australia. And this is big news. This is big news. This kind of changes up the cruiserweight division. Mairis Breidis been 37-year-old Mairis Breidis has been world champion multiple times in the cruiserweight division. He's known as a technical boxer and with good power in both hands. First point I want to make is if you guys want to join as a guest in the stream right now, you can do so by checking out the link, which I'm showing you right now, which is in the chat section. If you don't feel like joining as a guest to discuss this and chop it up with me, it's okay as well. You can leave your comments in the chat section. So let's get into this. To me, this is something pretty big. And so first thing I noticed, now as of late, I think from around 2019 and onwards, we've been having a lot of upsets. Now, there's several different reasons why that might be so, but I just wanted to cite about 10 of them, okay? This year alone, we had Kiko Martinez stop Josh Warrington. We had Alexis Rocha knock out Blair Cobbs. We had Leigh Wood beat Michael Conlan. We had Hector Luis Garcia, and he beat Chris Colbert, dropped him and then was beating him up. John Ryder beat Daniel Jacobs. Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez beat Carlos Cuadras, jumping up 2 weight classes to beat that world champion for the vacant title, and then beating Sanskrit Sarong Visai. Those are tremendous upsets we're talking about. Now, I'm not talking about upset in terms of betting, but just upsets in terms of the likelihood of that happening. We had Mark Maceo beat Gary Russell Jr., kind of the passing of the guard. Passing of the torch. Changing up the guard. We had Jack Catterall. Well, okay, we won't talk about that one. We have Jean Pascal beating Fang Lao Meng. And we had Dimitri Bivol beating Canelo Alvarez, moving him out of the pound-for-pound #1 spot. And so it's just pretty impressive. That's about 10 upsets already we've had for the year, and we're halfway through the year, right? And that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of upsets. That's a lot of upsets for 1 year. And it just all goes to show you that to stay at the top, once you get to the top, it's one thing, but to stay at the top is another thing. And of course, if we could just kind of piggyback off of that, last year, as we know, George Kambosos, he upsetted Teofimo Lopez, who had upsetted Lomachenko, and Devin Haney came and beat George Kambosos. And that happened this year as well. So there's a lot of upsets that happened this year, kind of saying that, if you have that #1 spot, can you hold on to the #1 spot? And it's pretty exciting because it's leading to exciting fights. We're a very exciting time in boxing, I believe. And it's just very interesting to see that, to stay on top now is a thing. Who can stay with longevity? Who can, even the big names, it's not easy for them to stay on top anymore. So we're going to see how things pan out in the boxing world. Once again, I am what you need. You're watching my channel. And don't forget, you can subscribe to my channel. You can share, like, donate, etc. We talk boxing here. That's all we talk. If you want to join as a guest, again, you can just check it out in the chat section. You can leave your comments in the chat section if you want, or you can join and start chopping it up with me right now live on this stream. Let's get to the upset. So, Jai Opetaia upset Mairis Breidis in what was a crazy fight in many respects, even though both guys were technical boxers. So what I can tell you is that Jai Opetaia, he's 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. Mairis Breidis is 6'1" with a 75-inch reach. So what Jai Opetaia's approach to the fight was he was a southpaw. He's a southpaw. He was able to get the southpaw angle to some degree, Mairis Breidis, but mostly he was fighting him from the outside. His major work was done on the outside. So he was trying to stay outside the pocket and pot shot Mairis Breidis. He really didn't have a jab. He was feinting like if he was going to throw a jab. He was feinting like he was going to throw it, but really he was just keen up to throw the lead left. So he was circling Mairis Breidis, going to Mairis Breidis' power hand side, which was kind of, and sometimes he would circle back the other way, but it's always to line up the left hand once he got lead foot positioning on him and throw the left hand down the center. Right? So that was what he was doing. I was actually outpointing Mairis Breidis. I think for like 5-6 rounds straight, he was outpointing him. Was landing good shots. He was walking him down. He was really landing some good straight lefts. Now, here's the interesting thing that happened in this fight. And really, it was a major thing because it was a major thing coming down to the end of the fight. Mairis Breidis landed one of his right hands on Jai Opetaia. Okay, it was a lead right hand that broke Jai Opetaia's jaw in the second round. I remember it very vividly when he hurt him. However, even though his jaw was fractured, it was just one side of his jaw was fractured. He was kind of okay, right? He was still boxing through the fight. I only come to understand that he got damaged in the second round. I did not know it in the fight, right? He did catch him with a good shot, clean shot. And, as the fight went along, there were less and less of those opportunities because Jai Opetaia kept his distance and Mairis Breidis was losing rounds. And Jai Opetaia was, battering up Mairis Breidis' face. His nose was broken. He broke Mairis Breidis' nose. He busted up Mairis Breidis' mouth, and he made Mairis Breidis' eyes puffy. So he was landing that lead left, cleanly and well. He was lining up. However, somewhere around round 6, thereabouts, Mairis Breidis caught him with a shot that hurt him. It rocked him. And pretty much he was hurt for the most of that fight, the most of that round 6. Mairis Breidis caught him with a right hand. And the reason Mairis Breidis was catching him with the right hands was because two things that Jai Opetaia was doing a bit wrong, and he needs to clean that up from what I saw, which is he would throw a left hand, and instead of pivoting out the way or moving back out of the pocket, he would stay in no man's land, sort of within the pocket, and Mairis Breidis would be able to throw a body punch, for instance, and come over the top of the right hand. And Mairis Breidis is heavy hand. Mairis Breidis was a bigger, stronger looking guy, and they're much bigger in size and everything. So he was just smacking him with that left hand. And the kryptonite to southpaws, left hand is the right hand, right? He was nailing him with the right hand, and he was starting to do it more frequently as the later rounds went on. In fact, he hurt him in round 6. He hurt him in round 8. And then, ladies and gentlemen, round 10 came. So don't get it wrong. Opetaia did have his moments in round 7. He hurt Mairis Breidis, and it looked like he was going to get him out of there. But the fight really turned because Opetaia kept on staying in the pocket too long, and because he's trying to pressure Mairis Breidis, and he wasn't really properly blocking that right hand. So as a southpaw, here you are, you're trying to protect this side here from the right hand. But the way Mairis Breidis would throw the shot or time the shot, he would always catch him because he's right there in the pocket. He's not moving out the pocket. He's not circling or anything. He's standing right in front of Mairis Breidis. The most he would do is take a step back, but he's always in front of him. And that was his mistake. And so he got caught. He got clocked in round 10 with the right hand, right? Still, his jaw looked okay. In round 11, Mairis Breidis broke the next side of his jaw, okay? And was really, dude was ahead on points, but Mairis Breidis really started turning it on. Round 10, he was starting to pick it up because he was desperate, because he knew he was down on the cards. So he really started to turn it up. And Mairis Breidis turned it up. Between round 11 and round 12, Opetaia's jaw went from looking like a jaw to something else. It was puffy and distended. He broke the next side of his jaw. I mean, I thought he was going to kill him. I mean, blood was coming out of both sides of his jaw. I mean, his mouth was running. In fact, he couldn't talk at the end of the fight. His jaw was open. He won the fight, but his jaw was open. And at the post-fight, he couldn't really speak through his jaw. I guess they got to wire it up or whatever. And I'm sure he was in pain. I mean, Mairis Breidis did a number on him. The only thing he didn't do was collapse or fall or get knocked down. He did slip at a certain point in the 12th, but I mean, geez, Mairis Breidis. I mean, it was ugly to look at, and but Mairis Breidis still lost the fight because he had a huge 11th and a huge 12th round. And Opetaia fought back and everything, but he was trying to clinch because once he got into pocket, he clinched Mairis Breidis. He was fighting him from the outside mostly. He traded a little bit on the inside in the pocket, but mostly he was on the outside. And then once he got to the inside, he clinched him. And but the problem with him was he was hanging around in the pocket. You can't just be standing in front of Mairis Breidis after you finish doing your work and just be. You have to get back out of there. And Mairis Breidis would lunge in, to lead right hands and all that kind of stuff. He started lunging in, and dude's right there. He's trying to block instead of pivot out the way, and that was his problem. But I mean, amazing fight. I'm still worried about the punishment that Jai Opetaia took in that fight. Both sides of his jaw is broken. He won the fight, and he's now the lineal and the IBF champion. I'm sure Mairis Breidis will want a rematch. I think he went into the dressing room looking for a rematch. But ultimately, in the end, man, you got a broken jaw. You got to deal with that now. Hopefully, it heals up properly. That's tough, though. That's tough. I mean, it put him on the board. He was, the #1 contender for the IBF title. Now he is the champion, so kudos to him. But then now he in pain. You got a broken jaw sitting down there. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But once again, upset in the making. Now, some people say, Mairis Breidis should have gotten at like a 10-8 round for the 11th round or the 12th round, and that probably would have evened up the fight. Mairis Breidis did very well in round 6. Round 8, and then 10, 11, and 12. So he had 5 rounds. I think it was a split decision win, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could have been a unanimous decision win. I can't remember. But, he came on strong. I mean, like a true champion. But I was afraid he was going to kill that dude because, shit, it got nasty quick. And Mairis Breidis can punch. And he was getting the right hand in. He was threading the right hand more and more frequently as the fight went along. I'm sure in a rematch he'll stop Jai Opetaia. But Jai Opetaia fought a very good fight, a very disciplined fight, and I guarantee you, man, he's on the board now. He beat a legendary cruiserweight. That's a legendary cruiserweight. Mairis Breidis is a legendary cruiserweight at 37 years of age, yes, but still a legendary cruiserweight, 10 years older than him. And what can I say? If you guys got any comments or anything, that's as much as I can say on this topic. I just thought I would put it on StreamYard if somebody want to jump in, have a conversation with me, leave some comments or something. But if not, I'm going to bail. This is what you need in the building. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Again, comment, subscribe, share. I did not put my PayPal link in the chat section. I probably should have, but I'll leave that for when the video comes up to stream. That's as much as I got for this fight. The upcoming fight, I already did the predictions on YouTube. That would be Hammer versus Joyce. I'm picking Joyce to win by unanimous decision or majority decision. I expect Hammer to bring it. I expect Hammer to perform. Hammer has performed in the last couple of fights he's had. He's not been able to. He's had relatively close fights. He's not been able to kind of commandingly take over a fight. But we'll see how it goes. Joyce throws a lot of punches. He has a really good jab. So we'll see how that whole thing pans out in the end. But That's what I got in my prediction. I'm gonna catch you guys later on What You Need. Peace.